Hi, my name's Sarah Hirsch.
Hi, I'm Corey.
Nice to meet you. What would you prefer me to call you, Corey?
Yes.
Okay, great. Before we get started, I have a couple of things that I want to go over. I have a few things written down just to make sure that I don't miss anything. I want to cover all of our bases before we get started. So I'm currently a student working towards my BSW, which is a Bachelor's in Social Work, here at the University of Georgia. So I will be working very closely with a supervisor. So throughout this process, I'll be sharing a good amount of information with them. So before we get into why you're here today, I wanted to talk a little bit about our expectations for these sessions. So from me, I'm here to help you better understand what exactly you're going through and help you create the path that you want to take to overcome whatever obstacle you're facing. So I'm here to help you reach all of your goals. And so from you, I'm expecting you to just actively participate. So you'll be honest and with all of your thoughts and your beliefs and all of your experiences, and we'll be able to really work together to help you make your decisions, and I'll need you to be open about pretty much everything. So with that, I'm also going to ask you to make sure that you're keeping your appointments. We'll both be on time, all those types of things. So do all of these align with what you're expecting from these sessions? Is there anything that I left out that you want to add? Does all that sound good?
That sounds good.
Okay, great. So another thing I want to go over is confidentiality, which basically means that what you say in these sessions is going to be kept private in most cases. Because I'm a student, I'll be sharing a lot with my supervisor, and the main restrictions that are going to come with this confidentiality is if I feel that you're either at risk of harming yourself or harming another person, or if there's a threat of child or elder abuse, or report of child or elder abuse. But other than that, this is a safe place to share everything that you're going through, and I want you to be able to speak openly and freely about everything. Was I clear with all of that? Are there any questions before we get started?
That's good.
Okay, great. So now I want you to tell me a little bit about why exactly you're here today.
Okay, so about a month or two ago, my parents got divorced, and so it's really been affecting me here in school, and it's just I don't know, it's just been causing a lot of friction. My grades have gone down, gotten involved with a lot of things that are kind of just maybe harmful to my grades and social stuff. And, I don't feel like I really have anyone to talk to here, and both of my parents, they just, with the divorce, I feel like I can't talk to either one of them, and so it's just kind of really messing me up, and I don't really know where to go. I'm just really confused.
Okay, so to be clear, your parents recently got a divorce, and you feel that it's affecting your schoolwork, and you might be making some decisions that are impacting your schoolwork, and you want to be able to talk to me about possible ways to help you with that, correct?
Yeah.
Okay, great. So you mentioned that you might be doing some things that are affecting your schoolwork. Can you elaborate a little bit on that?
Started drinking a lot lately. I did some before, but it just got worse with the divorce and all the things happening. It's just caused me that's, I guess it's my outlet for where I go. If I'm having an awful day or I'm done bad or something, I go hang out with people that my friends or whatever, and we just go get drunk and drink a lot.
Okay, so you're drinking with other people.
Yeah.
Okay. Do you feel that your parents' divorce is impacting your life in other areas besides your schoolwork? As for instance, relationships with your friends or with other family members?
Sort of. Mainly siblings. Have a younger brother, and he isn't really dealing with it the same way I am. He's just kind of fine. It doesn't seem to affect him too much, and so it's kind of difficult for me to understand. It's hard to talk to him about that. He's not dealing with it the same ways.
Okay. Have you ever talked about this particular situation with your brother? No. Okay. So how can I be helpful to you in this process?
just like just maybe being here to like talk through things and like understanding like better ways to maybe cope with what's happening. Like maybe just someone to talk to and someone to connect me to like resources or something.
Okay.
You know.
Okay, all of those are perfectly reasonable expectations, and I feel that we'll be able to work together to help you with a lot of that. So through your parents' divorce, what would you say is your biggest like fear or concern? Is there anything that you're afraid of?
Just like kind of get uncertain. Like they were married for like 15 years, and so like it was like a constant thing in my life. Like we all had like I thought I had a good relationship with them, but it just kind of like sort of came out of nowhere, or I didn't understand like just kind of like messed up consistency and everything in my life.
Okay, so would you say that you were blindsided a little bit? You felt that you had these stable relationships with your parents and your other family members, and now that's kind of been shaken up a little bit.
Yeah.
Okay. So looking from the outside, it might seem that you are just overall, you might be a little bit overwhelmed with the situation. Would that be correct?
Yeah, I think it's really overwhelming.
Okay. Do you want to explain that a little bit more?
I just like school beforehand was already just like a lot, like my first year of college, and so I'm trying to adjust here and like I have a lot of like hard classes, and so like it was a little bit much at first, and trying to balance social stuff in school, and then like with this happening, like
I'm sorry. That's okay. So I can understand how this sudden change in your family dynamic would be hard for you, and I'm impressed that you've managed to come to me and say that you need help. I think that's very admirable, and I think it's a very good step. So you mentioned briefly about your relationships with your family and how things kind of got shaken up a little bit. So would you say prior to your parents' divorce, you had like a strong family dynamic before that?
yeah, we weren't like extremely close, but like we were like a normal family. Like they were pretty involved in my life, and both seemed to really care about what's going on and providing for me. Um, you know, I felt like things were going pretty well.
Okay. You also mentioned that you felt that you couldn't talk to your parents about what's going on. So you just don't feel comfortable talking with them, or what exactly?
I don't know, like I just really sort of was mad at them for like this sudden change, like why did they have to do that? Like, and so like talking to either one of them, like, they get really touchy, they get really mad about it. They're not very open and talkative like with me. And so I feel like there's a barrier almost there, like for communicating with them
Okay.
in this situation.
So you said that that makes you mad. Would you say that that frustration is directed towards your parents?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay. So, do you feel at all as if, well, so what in the end would you like to gain through this process? Do you want to be able to foster those relationships with your parents again? Is that something that you would see as an ultimate goal?
Yeah, I think I'd like to get back to be able to talk to both of them and like, have a good communication with them again and kind of maybe understand like why this happened.